Okay, let's do the follow-up work session on the formation of the charter board, and that's going to be you, Ms. Holtz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We completed the formation sheet, which is on the board docs, indicating the recommendation that the body would have 9 members, which I think you had consensus on last week, and that they all be Charles County citizens, and that their term basically be 2 years, which would put it after the next election, but that their process would be completed well before the next election, perhaps in 18 months, which would put it at approximately May or June of 2014. We indicated that the staff would come from the county attorney's office with additional expertise coming from the University of Maryland, who I believe they have provided support staff for many of the other counties as they've done the formation of the charter. And there's really nothing else on the formation chart. We did indicate that we suggested they choose their own chair and vice chair. That's subject to the approval of the commission, of course. And then we did a resolution, which is on your board docs, that reads, simply for the purpose of establishing the board to draft a proposed charter for the county to change the current form of government from code home rule to charter form of government, including the manner of election of the first council members and county executive, and that it have 9 members, that the board could select its own chair and vice chair, that the terms of appointment will be for 2 years, and the resolution shall take effect immediately.
Commissioners, any comments or questions? Commissioner Robinson?
Just one. This is obviously a very important board, and I would ask my colleagues if we could waive the restriction that allows citizens to only serve on one board, because I think that some of the people who currently serve on other boards throughout the county would be an invaluable resource to this particular commission.
Any comments or questions or responses to that?
Isn't that a policy we usually don't?
That's why I'm asking for a waiver on that.
What would that do to stuff, decisions we already made to pass because of that? I mean, a lot of people we turned down because they were on another board that applied for
Well,
another board.
this is, first of all, this is time sensitive. It would be established now and end in less than 2 years, so this wouldn't be an ongoing.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying is we've already set a precedence that we don't do it.
Yeah, I think, Ms. Holtz, that's a good question. I mean, I guess, is there a policy change that would have to take place? And then there's the issue about fair treatment. I think Commissioner Robinson, if I may paraphrase, is essentially saying we'd make this exception so we could get some of our best, most resourceful residents or citizens.
I believe an affirmative vote of the commission would allow that to be done.
Okay.
In this one case, limited to an 18-month appointment.
Okay, well, to keep this more simple, let's go ahead and adopt the resolution if we could, and then we can discuss that issue because there may be some disagreement there. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as presented? Motion by Commissioner Robinson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion about the resolution as it's, Commissioner Davis?
Yes. Ms. Holtz, I'm just looking over it briefly. Is it clear what we're asking them to do and what their charge is at that date? I mean, is it to present before the commissioners on a certain date? I mean, should we be more specific? And I'd like my colleagues to weigh in on that.
We could certainly add a date certain by which they
Would
shall
present to the commissioners.
report to you. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. And would you like that date to be 6 months before the next election?
I think we need a little wiggle time there.
Yeah, there should be, I believe there should be a date where they would be required to present to the Board of Commissioners. And I also believe that, I don't think it's clear what they are to present.
Okay, I will be happy to revise this and bring it back after lunch.
That'd be great. Is that okay with you?
Yes,
And maybe you could
I'd like
have
to
some
hear what
input?
everyone else would like to say.
I just have one additional question. I think it would be important for us to determine what the deadline would be.
Yes.
To make sure it gets on the ballot, if that's what the Charter Board chooses, for November of 2014.
And may I add that I think, again, I used the very unsophisticated term of wiggle room, but I think we need to have adequate time so that, you know, so that the public can be properly informed as to what this is all about. So if you could keep that in mind, I think, when you're determining what that date might be. Any other comments or questions? Commissioner
I
Collins?
agree with Commissioner Davis's request for a set deadline, but I think there should be a provision allowing an exception if, and for cause, if it's necessary to extend that time.
could be a-
But set as a goal, you know, so they're clearly establishing their work towards a specific date.
It could be a recommended date, a target date, so that it doesn't,
Which the
Self-destruct after the date.
earlier the better, so that, as Commissioner Kelly's term, wiggle room is allowed for.
Well, okay, so I'm not a lawyer.
and I recommend that you also change it on the worksheet.
Yeah.
What was that?
The
On the
worksheet.
Okay.
And can you sort of have this feedback, Ms. Holtz, if we could just come back and review this later today?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Next, we have a legal session.